Live from KVII Studios in downtown Amarillo, ABC 7 News, the Panhandle Spirit, starts now.
New developments tonight in the case of a teenager charged with murder in a shooting rampage at the library in Clovis. 16-year-old Nathaniel Jewett was scheduled to appear in court tomorrow for his arraignment, but late today he waived his right to appear at that hearing. Court records filed today show that Jewett entered a not guilty plea to all the charges against him. Jewett will be tried as an adult in the case. The grand jury indictment filed on September 8th included 2 charges of first-degree murder, along with 31 lesser crimes. Investigators say Jewett brought 2 guns into the Clovis Carver Library on August 28th and started shooting. 2 people were killed, 4 others were wounded. Police arrested Jewett at the scene, and he has remained in custody without bond since. A trial date has yet to be announced. Next, since August, Xcel has made 2 announcements in regard to customers' bills. The first dealt with fuel cost. The second deals with rate increases. ABC 7's Jayla Washington sat down with the company spokesman today to set the record straight and find out exactly how your bill might be affected.
Xcel Energy customers recently got a legal notice in the mail talking about a proposed rate increase. What's important to understand is that Xcel Energy bills are made up of 2 key components. Xcel Energy spokesperson Wes Reeves says the fuel cost portion and base rate portion combined make up your energy bill.
The fuel portion of your bill primarily is buying the natural gas and coal that we use to generate power. Basically, your base rate is paying for your electricity. It pays the cost of building power lines and building substations and maintaining all of that equipment, power plants. It's really everything that goes into generating and delivering electricity to your home.
Reeves says the fuel portion of your bill will not be changed. He says the number that customers are seeing in this letter from the mail deals with an increase in the base rate, or the portion of your bill that is paying for your electricity. This number only reflects the base rate portion alone.
Just a portion of your bill that's the percentage increase for that one portion of your bill. So it's higher than what the overall increase would be because when you add in another portion of your bill that's not changing percentage-wise, it lowers that overall percentage.
Customers could still see up to a 15% increase in their overall bill. And Reeves says that's about $15 more that some residents will be paying if the increase Xcel is asking for is approved. In Amarillo, Jayla Washington, ABC 7 News.
And meanwhile, Xcel crews from Texas are about to wrap up their work in Florida, helping restore power after Hurricane Irma. They've been repairing lines, installing new poles, and replacing transformers that were damaged by wind and falling trees. At its peak, nearly 10 million people in Florida were without power. As of today, 99% of them are back online. Officials say this was one of the largest power restoration efforts in U.S. history. And now for a check of the forecast. Storm Cert 7 Chief Meteorologist Steve Kirsch joins us now. Steve, good evening. We've been talking about the heat and how the wind is going to start dialing down a little bit. Heat is going to start trending down a little bit.
Did today. We were only 82 for a high, which is pleasant. It was down to 54 this morning.
Oh, yeah, that's really good.
Very pleasant start today.
You bet.
Unfortunately, that short-lived reprieve from the heat is definitely going to occur. In fact, it'll be hotter tomorrow, then cooler temperatures for the weekend, better rain chances too. Let's look outside atop the Texas tornado at Wonderland Park and look at those blue skies. Most of the high plains had clear skies today. It was in the Oklahoma Panhandle this morning. Had a lot of high cloud cover there. As far as your weather story goes, as I mentioned, we've got one hot day tomorrow, then temperatures will be fall-like as we head toward the weekend and next week, and our rain chances going up. And I can tell you there's a lot of dry grass. You can see it there on the right-hand side of the picture there. We could use a little water from the sky. More about that coming up, and the latest on Hurricane Maria as well, coming up in about 14 minutes. David?
Thanks, Steve. And speaking of the hurricane, Maria slammed Puerto Rico as the most powerful storm to strike the U.S. territory in nearly 90 years, causing widespread damage and knocking out electricity to the entire island. Maria is so far being blamed for killing 9 people in the Caribbean, and that number is expected to rise. ABC's Elizabeth Herr with more.
Puerto Rico taking a direct hit from Hurricane Maria, the first Category 4 hurricane to strike the island since 1932.
Winds gusting here in San Juan over 110 miles an hour, experiencing now the eye wall of this storm.
ABC's senior meteorologist Rob Marciano there as Maria made landfall. bringing torrential rainfall and blowing winds so powerful roofs were ripped off, windows shattered, trees toppled, and at one point 100% of the island left without power.
Prepared, we have supplies.
Some took cover in their hotel rooms, others in one of the 500 shelters now open, with the governor warning the danger not over.
We have not experienced an event of this magnitude in our modern history.
Officials are now bracing for storm surge of up to 9 feet in Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands, and in some areas, 2 feet of rain. This as authorities in the Caribbean begin assessing the damage done there. The devastation in Dominica so far being called tremendous, and the country left in a daze with no electricity and no running water. And one neighborhood in Puerto Rico is now reporting 80% of the homes there have been destroyed, and there are homes flooded with at least 3 to 4 feet of water. Elizabeth Herr, ABC News, New York.
Oklahoma Panhandle State University students held a peaceful protest on campus today. Students showed their support for the so-called Dreamers by walking around the university reciting chants and holding signs. The Trump administration announced the end of the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program earlier this month. DACA students shared their stories and fears of deportation. One student said he has been in America most of his life, but doesn't know if he'll be allowed to stay in this country.
Just uncertainty, whether or not I can stay in the country. I've been here since I was 9 turning 10. Been here over 24 years, mainly in Oklahoma and the Panhandle, being in the community and being part of that community. So just the uncertainty of where my life's going to be.
The White House is expected to lay out its priorities and principles for an immigration deal sometime within the next week. New tonight, a gas mix-up at an Amarillo Walmart has apparently caused problems with several people's cars. Walmart confirmed in a statement that the company that supplies gas to the store on Coulter and Arden mixed up the fuel in the diesel and unleaded tanks. They say based on the amount of gas that was sold by the time the problem was discovered, it's likely that between 50 and 60 vehicles got the wrong fuel. One ABC 7 viewer told us it happened to her yesterday and that her van died after she had driven several blocks from the gas station. Walmart confirmed that timeline in a statement to ABC 7, saying they shut the pumps down yesterday as soon as they discovered the problem. They said they flushed and cleaned the lines and reopened the pumps this afternoon. They also added that anyone who was affected by the mix-up can contact the store manager for more information. The viewer who contacted us said Walmart told her they would reimburse her for the gas and would also provide her a rental vehicle temporarily. Turning to international news and the recovery effort from the deadly earthquake in Mexico. More than 200 people were killed when it struck yesterday all across Mexico City, which was just 75 miles from the epicenter of the 7.1 quake. Rescue missions like this one are ongoing. Where a school once stood, workers listened for signs of life. At least 21 children and 4 teachers were pulled alive from the rubble, where an entire wing of an elementary collapsed. More than 40 buildings collapsed in Mexico City. Several others, while still standing, rained debris and glass on vehicles below. Yesterday's earthquake happened on the anniversary of the worst quake in Mexico's history, which killed more than 9,500 people in 1985. When we come back here on ABC 7 News at 5, after natural disasters have hit all across the country, many fraudulent charities are coming to light. How to protect yourself from falling victim to those scams, coming up next. And the health care showdown continues. What was discussed on Capitol Hill today that has both political parties reeling, in just a few minutes.